guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mads and today we're going to be talking about the 8 books that I read in the month of November. Buckle in, because this month was actually genuinely all over the place. I was either loving what I was reading or I was hating it and wanting to DNF. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's start off with the only 2 books that I read physically, which was insane. I didn't realize that until I went to film this video. Anyways, first up we have Lights Out. I rated this 5 stars. I actually listened to this on audiobook and was so obsessed that I had to order the physical copy. Hands down the best audiobook I've ever listened to in my entire life. Lights Out is a dark romance rom-com. There was knife play and I was giggling. Like this audiobook, the narrators, the guy in it was scrumdiddly-crum. It was amazing. I have absolutely 0 notes, and if you're not an audiobook girly and you want to read this, I'm telling you, the audiobook is so good it will actually make you an audiobook girly. It is amazing. Next up we have book 3 of Zodiac Academy, which is The Reckoning. I ended up rating this 4.5 stars. Now you will see that after this book I just stopped reading Zodiac Academy, and that is because when I was halfway through book 3 of this, I had a huge spoiler, probably one of the biggest spoilers of the entire series, and I have struggled to get back into it because I just know what is happening, and God, I'm sad. I will go back to it. I just need a couple of weeks to decompress and try and gaslight myself to not remember the spoiler. So that's what is happening. And this book, book 1 I was like, yeah, I can see this. Book 2 I was like, okay, here we go. Then I couldn't stop thinking about it. Book 3 is where the obsession, it started in book 2 but it really took flight in book 3. I'm obsessed. To the people that told me, because I don't believe romances, and to the people that told me to push through and warn me what would be in there so that I could read the first and get through it, thank you. You did the biggest service to me ever, because this is probably going to end up being one of my top tier fantasy series because it's just so addicting. It's like trashy reality TV. It's amazing and I love it. Now going on to the books that I read on my Kindle, which is the majority of the freaking books from this month. We are going to start off with Say You Will Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I got that arc sent to me by NetGalley. Thank you so much, because this was my most anticipated read of 2025. If you guys know me or watch my videos, Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and Just for Summer are all infinity stars for me. I adore it. I'm so obsessed with Abby Jimenez writing. This book, however, I ended up rating 3 stars, which is not bad. But let's talk about it for a hot minute, because this took me 10 days to read, and I have to be completely honest, I even wanted to DNF, which is kind of saying something because I really truly love Abby Jimenez's work. Yes, I have complicated feelings about this, and I also really have guilt because I'm I'm just the biggest Abby Jimenez fan, and I'm just so disappointed. Anyways, her writing, beautiful. There's nothing to say about the writing, the book itself, and the romance. First off, personally, I don't like insta love. I just don't. I find it so boring, even though in real life we all want insta love, and I have insta love, but yeah, it is just it's boring in a book. God, I'm trying to do this without giving away spoilers. Okay, there's nothing wrong with their relationship. In fact, majority of this book, I think they see each other 4 or 5 times. The majority of this book is them separated by distance because of circumstances. So there's nothing going on emotionally for them that they have to overcome to be with each other in regard to their relationship. So you know straight off the bat from this book, they like each other, they have good chemistry, they're gonna end up together. And in a romance book, that's what you need to work towards. And instead of it being about them working towards it and getting over their hurdles for their relationship, issues, emotional arcs, whatever it be, it was family drama. So much family drama. In fact, this was trauma dumping because it was one thing after the other. It was quite similar, there was so much trauma going on, it kind of felt like a soap opera, and the stuff that was happening was written beautifully. I have so many annotations throughout this book. I will be purchasing the physical of it and putting my annotations in. However, the romance aspect, and it is a romance book, the romance aspect was severely lacking, because even when they were together, we were just hearing about them figure out the distance logistics and what was happening on in their lives to make them sad. That we weren't feeling that great connection, because we just didn't spend any time with them of when they were actually on a date. And if we did, it was very much we did X, Y, and Z, and then it goes on to whatever Abby Jimenez wanted to go into more depth. Them together as a relationship, I was like, you guys are cute. And when you got those moments, they were special, and I had so many annotations about it, but it was so sparse for a romance book. And everyone was miserable. like actually miserable throughout the whole book. Literally every single person had depression, and I was just, it was sad. It was sad reading it. And I love Abby Jimenez that she has this underlining plot, don't get me wrong, because that's actually what I want in a romance book. But when every single person is depressed and there's no like aspects of happiness in the relationship of them even going on a date, it was just a bit much. Moving on, an audiobook that I just listened to, Girl Alone. I ended up rating this 3 stars. This was great. It did keep me hooked throughout, and it's definitely for the fans of Criminal Minds. Like, it is great. It's FBI profiling that is so good. However, the characters were super two-dimensional. We literally do not learn anything about them. Literally nothing. Like, I can't even tell you one thing about the main character. The 2 main characters cannot tell you nothing besides work, which I mean does kind of fit FBI profilers. Tell me why this woman doesn't have any training from the FBI. It's all just from personal research, and then she goes in with a seasoned professional. The seasoned professional gets it wrong constantly, but the rookie gets it right every single time. It felt like the chosen one trope in a thriller setting, and I was just a little bit confused because I just was listening. I was going, this just wouldn't happen. Like, would this actually happen? I was like, it doesn't feel like it. And that's the thing about thrillers, is that you want them to be shocking, but you want it to be believable, and that's what scares you, because you're like, this could actually happen. And yeah, I don't know, that just kind of threw me off a little bit. It threw me off. Brief pause. Hi, for those of you that don't know, I actually write books, and I wrote Deadly Occupants, which is Pretty Little Lies meets Paranormal Activity. It is a paranormal thriller. Basically, 4 college girls go to a haunted house tour on Halloween night, and then they get attacked, and then they go home and find that the thing that attacked them followed them home, and then they get haunted for literal months. It is on Kindle Unlimited. Go binge her. But something for my fantasy girlies, I also wrote Aerbroken Fate, which gives ACOTAR vibes, and apparently the Gilded series by Raven Kennedy. It is enemies to lovers. Who did this to you? Griffins, mermaids, dragons, enemies to lovers. It is fun, it's fast paced, very bingeable. It is also on Kindle Unlimited, and you guys heard it here first. The 3rd book is coming out in May. Moving on, we have Home is Where the Bodies Are. I ended up rating the 3.5 stars. Nothing wrong with the book. It was great, had a really good plot twist. Wait, I actually think I rated it 4 stars. It was a great thriller, got through it, kept me engaged. Then we have Power Play, which is the 2nd book in the DC stars. The first is Face Off. It is a ice hockey romance. It is on Kindle Unlimited. Both of them are. I love this so much I had to order a physical copy. I'm obsessed with this one. So I did feel a little bit disappointed with the 2nd. However, it has nothing to do with the writing. It actually surprisingly has nothing to do with the book. Purely the tropes that were in this book are not something that I enjoy. That's it. And that's why I'm not going to rate it, because I'm not going to rate it because I should have actually just read the tropes and be like, okay, I'm probably not going to like this book. Let's skip it and wait for the 3rd. But if you like the following tropes, you will really like this book. So Friends with Benefits, Marriage of Convenience, and Building Self-Confidence. Moving on, then I read Crossroads for book club, and I originally gave this 3.5 stars. I will not be rating this book. My issue with this book is that no one had friends. No one had friends. It was such a small town, yet we never met anyone outside of the ranch. She went to grocery stores and stuff, and you're telling me that you buy the most popular ranch in this small town and no one questions you or side-eyes you. There was no mention of anyone. It was all happening on the ranch. Like, it was very isolated, no friends, nothing else happening. The one thing that I really enjoyed though, and I think that this was like the Virgo in me, my OCD coming out, is that basically she buys this ranch, the one that she's been going to for her entire childhood. It is second chance romance, cowboy. She revamps the ramp, and that is so fun. She was doing to-do lists, like she was marketing, she was getting everything revamped, getting like work done. I found that so interesting. That was the only thing that I remember, the only thing I found interesting. The romance was very superficial and very felt physically driven. For some reason it was enemies to lovers, even though like when you finish the book, you like, there literally was zero reason for them to hate each other. I don't even understand why there was enemies to lovers, and yet when they first meet they hate each other and they despise each other. I'm like, what is going on? And then randomly they go from hating each other, then he like touches her arm, and the next minute they're like making out. It was so sudden. I was like physically jolted and taken back, because I was like, what is actually happening right now? It was actually insane. It was insane. Last but certainly not least, we have Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I ended up rating this 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I actually listened to it on audiobook. I was entertained throughout. The plot twist really got me. I thought I knew what was happening, but I didn't. My anxiety was like rising with the characters, and it was just really good. It was really good. I really recommend it. It was a great audiobook and a great thriller. And that is it. Those are the 8 books that I read this month. I quite honestly, like this month and the last month, it's either amazing books or books that I am wanting to DNF, and I actually have been DNFing books. I don't really know what is happening right now, but please everyone pray for me that December just blesses me. Because I was on a really good like reading sprint of a couple of months where I was just loving what I was reading, and now I'm just like anyways, everyone pray for me please. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.